DawgNation's Next Generation series is brought to you by Pella Window and Door of Georgia. Pella, any style, any home, any budget. Visit PellaofGA.com to get started.
Welcome back, DawgNation. I'm Kaylee Mansell with Jeff Sentell, and it is week 15 already of bringing you the next generation of talent headed to Athens. Today we're going to talk about four-star cornerback Justyn Rhett out of Bishop Gorman, Las Vegas. Hey. Big time. Jeff, you said you're always going to remember his recruitment years from now. What was unique about his recruitment process?
Well, first of all, flips that happen in Vegas don't stay in Vegas, right? I guess we could say that. First of all, I've been doing this a little bit of time now, and this was the first time where we had a guy that was an official visitor, and he was still committed to Notre Dame at the time, and he's an official visitor committed to another school, and he literally like shows up in Athens for G-Day in the stands. First thing I'll never forget is like I always try to, like, I know these recruits see Sanford a lot and they go to visits a lot, but the first time they're in a game day environment and they come down that west end zone bleachers, and you can see when the like, whoa, hits him in the face. Well, I saw a moment from him and his father where they were just like, oh my Lord. It was like, you know, whether it's, you know, in my generation when Halle Berry was in the movies and everybody's like, oh my goodness, and he had those little Bugs Bunny type cartoon looks or whatever. But like for Justyn, you could tell that he was struck. That's the way to say it. He was struck by Athens, and it was really funny. He decommits in the middle of his official visit to Georgia from Notre Dame. And then I think he commits to Georgia like a day or two later. Like the big thing there was Fran Brown was huge on him, big physical corner, and that's what Georgia was looking for there. And folks, I mean, he's at Georgia now. He played in the spring game. He's already faced Kirby's wrath about 19 times for doing something wrong in a game or in a scrimmage. But don't worry about the ranking. I think he was the lowest rated cornerback Georgia took, but I wouldn't worry about that at all.
Yeah, I was going to mention that because 247 has him ranked as the 373rd prospect overall, and On3's got him at 352. Why do you think there was such varying opinions on him in this particular class?
Lots of variance. I think the only ones that matter was like Fran Brown. Here's what we know about Fran Brown and his DBs. You better be able to run, and Justyn can really run. And I think the thing that stood out for Justyn, and listen, we all know that Georgia's trying to find guys that are maybe first-round corners, and then they're trying to find guys that can play everywhere, like the next Javon Bullard or another Chris Smith, or, you know, they've had such good luck with different variety of defensive backs. Like, remember, Kamari Lassiter was probably rated right around that range where he wasn't really highly rated. But I think when you look at Justyn, he had grown man size, and what I mean is SEC size. Like, lots of cornerbacks Georgia has brought in, they've had to put on some weight. You know, Nyland Green's a good example there, or, you know, they're just not ready for the SEC yet. But Justyn works really hard on his body, really trained hard. I think he reported that Georgia right around 190, 195, so he was ready to go. One of the big things I saw was at the Under Armour All-American game. Everybody remembers the name Deuce Robinson. Well, you know, he was literally throwing Deuce around because he was just ready to play physical brand of football in the SEC.
You made another point to me earlier that he might be one of the most mature guys in this class. Now, let me add here that mature is a very big word to put on an 18-year-old kid. Why do you feel that way?
He just feels like he's got it all together. Like, there was no waffling. Like, he was, man, Notre Dame's a great school to go to. And then he was like, no, let me go to Georgia. And there's like, yeah, I mean, like, this is the move. I've had a chance to be around his family at the Under Armour game in Orlando. You know, great folks, professional folks. Really loves his mom, really loves his dad. He'd been trained a lot. I believe one of his former trainers was a guy that trained Ray Rice. So like he's been around some big time football, but just the way he approaches his job, I saw it at the Under Armour, the way he practiced, the way he goes about his business. Like, a lot of times you can see immaturity or just boys being boys with a lot of these players. With Justyn, I see a guy that has a true sense of what he is and what he wants to accomplish in his life.
Well, earlier I got the chance to see a video that you actually showed me. He's got some awesome body art on him. Tell them what they can expect to see on the field this fall.
Yeah, so Justyn, I mean, goodness, he's got Peruvian ancestry, Iranian ancestry, African-American ancestry, and like he displays that. Like, culture is really big to him. Like, he's got a lion on one of his arms, and that's a symbol for a grandfather he lost. You look on his leg, and he's continued to add more art since he's gotten to Georgia. But he's got a clock. He's got something that says "The world is yours." I don't think he has the clock. I think that's actually another player. But like one of the things is he's got an African type soldier, like in a Dan mask. It was very cultural to him. And on the back, he's got like a caricature of a lady. And he's like, I didn't want no random girl on there. It was actually the artist. The artist sketched out basically what his mom looked like from the nose down, and that's part of his body art. And, you know, like a big thing, folks, I know not all of us are 20, not all of us are, well, maybe she is, but like not all of us are like 22, but like, you know, I think there's a break point here where tattoos now really mean something. They tell a person's story, and with that, you get a window into the person that Justyn is. And yeah, he's a fabulous football player, and he's going to make a lot of plays for Georgia. He's going to run fast, he's going to tackle, he's going to know the scheme, he's really smart, comes from a big program at Bishop Gorman. But I think you've got a young man that, I like the word mature to describe him. I like the words of has it all together, physical, tough-minded, serious. He feels like he's already acting like a professional football player to me, even though he's just a freshman in college. And
you mentioned that word maturity. I don't think there's any decision more mature than not having a random girl on the back of your leg. Put your mom on it. The world is yours. Justyn Rhett, the world is yours, and we cannot wait to see what you do in the world of Georgia football this year. Now, guys, listen to me right here. We've got a big one coming for you next week, so make sure to tune back in with us on all the next generation of talent headed to Athens.